Good morning. No, we don't need that, so let's get rid of that. Oh, I've got a bit more space, there you go. Oh, it doesn't look very straight, does it? Let's see if we can fix the camera. Maybe just move this, would be a good idea. Morning, Andreen. There we go, that's better. Oh, it still pulses, it's very annoying. Good morning, everyone. Morning, Angela. I hope the weather's good where you are. At least the rain stopped here now, which is a bonus. So, this morning we're going to make one that I showed you the other day. I just thought it was a get well soon card. But today it's going to be a thinking of you card. And then you can use it for many different things. So I'm going to be using the Nature's Garden 1, the Nature's Garden 2, and the Postage and more. Okay. Yeah, it's stuck on the outside. It was messing with my eyes then for a minute. Morning, Cynthia. So, they're what we're going to use, stamp-wise. So I'll just pop them to one side. And we're going to be using, I did black and purple, I think, last time. This time, I'm going to be doing blue and black. I've got a thing for blue at the moment. So we're going to use this VersaFine Clear as well. And we're going to use VersaFine. I'll show you as we go through what I'm going to use. But first, what we need is, this is just a piece of A4 card, folded in half, scored, folded in half. And then I'm going to use a piece of this nice blue card as a background mat. So we'll glue that one on first. Morning, Jane. So we'll put this one on first. And then we'll deal with the things that need to dry before we go any further. So I'm using Studio Light Tacky Glue, my favourite glue. I used to use Pin Flare, but it got a little expensive for me, and I found that this tacky glue from Studio Light is absolutely brilliant. Does exactly the same job. It's really good. So we'll pop that down and that can dry. So next thing I want to show you how to do is how I make these frames. So I'm not great at lining things up a lot of the time. If you look at the original one that's on Julie's, you can see that I've put the middle die on and it's slightly out. But I'd done so much work on it, I decided to send it anyway. But I then found a nicer way to make these frames, make them a little easier for you to do. So, first thing I did was use Julie's Dinky Hexagons, and I cut out the actual aperture part in the middle first. Okay, because I found it was much easier to do it this way. So, cut the aperture out. And then I'm going to hold it down on my stamp platform. And I'm going to pick out the largest of the Postage and more, okay? And then I'm going to lay it on. Now it takes a little time to wiggle it into the shape that you want and get it to be fairly equal all the way around. So you're not, you know, sort of getting it in the wrong place. And then I use the VersaFine, because I've done them in black, I wanted them deep. Okay, so a little gentle press, they'll work fine. There we go, we've got it lined up pretty good. And then you can take the bigger die if you wish and cut it out. But because it's such an easy shape, you can just use your scissors and cut in a straight line. And that's how I get these shapes. They're much more even than, you know, trying to eyeball a die over the top, because the die is solid, isn't it, and you can't really always see through it. So to make it look a little more professional, have a go at doing it this way, because mine did not look that professional on the sample I sent Julie. You'll all go in now and have a closer look, but that's exactly what happened. It did not work well. So that's how to make these frames. And you will need, these are the pieces that come out from when you do the die cutting, and you can pop them in a little bag and save them for another project. Okay, so I only need 3, so let's go with 3. So now we need to put something in them. And I know it's odd working backwards, but these need to dry. Okay, these need to dry. So what I have done is I have used the large one there from the Nature's Garden 2 set, and I used the large and the small of these flowers, and I stamped them in black VersaFine, and then I clear embossed over the top. And when you do this on vellum, it doesn't come out so black. It comes out kind of like a grey black. So if you really do need your stamping and embossing on vellum to be black, then I suggest you go with the Versamark and some black wow powder. Or alternatively, if you wanted them whatever colour you wanted them, you can just use that coloured ink and your clear wow powder, and you'll get the same kind of thing. Now, I've done it on the vellum. As you can see, it's all heat embossed, because I'm sure you all know how to do that. So if you turn it over now, I'm bringing your acrylic pens, and I've chosen obviously blue for the flowers. So I'm going to go over, and you don't need, this is what I love about this, you don't need to be overly neat with it. If I put a piece of white paper behind, because I'm going blue on blue, you'll be able to see it a little better, I think. So I'm starting off with the paler blue, and you can blend these a little, these pens, but I've got a few different coloured blues, so we'll give it a go, we'll try it. All you've got to do is stay in the lines, basically. I'll go in with a, maybe not as dark as that one, this one. And we can put a little bit of blue, dark blue at the bottom there, and blend it in. You can always turn it over and have a look at what you're doing, and as you can see, you get like a blue fade on there, and then you can just go back in with this one and fade the edges a little if the lines are too harsh, and fade them out. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to paint these in, and that's why I needed to do them first, so that they can dry. They dry quite quickly, these acrylic pens, so, you know, work on a small area at once. Fade them out. Okay. I quite like this effect. It looks a bit like enamel when you turn it over. It's quite sweet. So, and it's something different to have, instead of just me colouring without me inks, Distress Inks watercolour, because I do love to colour with watercolour because it's quite quick. Okay, so let's do all the flower heads first. So we'll keep the same thing going. We'll do a little bit on this one in the light blue. I quite like these two colours together. You scribble on it, doesn't matter, as long as you don't go outside the line like you would when you were a child colouring your colouring book. And then you can take this one, Evening Heather, and you can put a bit of dark around there and in the middle, and then you can feather them out as well while it's still wet, just to give it a little bit of depth around there. Turn it over and have a look. I mean, there's no great shapes in this, and if you've got the kids involved, then super. Now, the thing with these light ones is the lighter the acrylic, you might have to go over it again just to give it a deep, you know, a good coverage. Now, I don't mind if it's a bit speckly, because, you know, but in this instance, I'm going to go in, because this is quite light, and I'm going to give the lighter shade another colour. You can see from the front if it's covered or not. turn it around, and then do this one as well, the same. Usually these aren't so speckly, but I do use them a lot. I'm probably just running out of ink is what's happened. I'm going to have to replace them. Studio Light do a really good set, but unfortunately I've run out of the blue ones on that as well. Obviously blue is my colour at the moment. Colour in the middle. You can even go a little darker in the middle if you wish, with a darker blue. Oh no, I'll just go over that twice. Now while it's drying I shall do the leaves. Just turn it over and have a look. Yeah, that's kind of cute. I like it. So, go in with the leaves, and these are the Studio Light ones, these ones. They're double-ended. They've got a dark and a light on it, so perfect for blending. I'm going to stick with the light one for this. I mean, you can always use your pro markers on this, your inks, your chalk pastels, anything that you've got really. I just, now and again, I like to get these pens out and give them a go. Kids love them as well, and they're really good for, you know, if you decorate stones. Well, what we used to do is decorate some stones, put a little message on the stone saying, take a photo of it, you know, tag rocks, because there was a Facebook page for Carlisle Rocks, tag them, and then re-hide it. We used to hide them all over Carlisle, and it was really cute when people were going out and looking and they found one, took a photo of the kids. Or just decorate some nice stones for your garden. You know, some flat ones, draw some pictures on them. Something different to do, isn't it? There we are. Right, okay, so I'm going to leave them to dry a little while I get on with the rest. There we are. I'm going to pop that out the way and leave it to dry, and then we can get on with the rest of the card. So, we've also picked up a piece of white card and cut out so it fits on there with a nice little border. Hi Yvonne. No worries about oversleeping. Sleep's good. You can catch the beginner up anyway. It's going to go on there, but we're going to decorate this now using these stamps. And I'm going to use the big one of the flowers, just the one. And we're going to use the stamp platform. So, hold your paper down to start with. And I'm also going to use the usual acetate trick for repositioning the stamp so it doesn't get all over the place and make a mess on this card, right, as you're moving it. So on we go with that. And as I said, I'm going to use Warm Breeze Versifying Clay because it's the right tones for what I need. Now, I don't know how juicy this is. Oh, it looks to be okay. Okay, now this is going to be the background, so a nice blue background, so pop the acetate on and you just work your way down, filling up the background, putting full ones in, half ones in, as random as you like, and as you know, problem and random for me. I don't really love random. Well, I do, but I just can't do it. My brain doesn't allow much randomness going on. So I'm just going to fill in each time all the way down using this. Love this acetate thing because it's so easy to clean. And you can reuse it again and again. And it really does stop, as long as you don't get any on your fingers, it really does stop all the failing that. Just wipe it in between. It's easy enough, isn't it? So, just keep filling in You can overlap them if you wish, but you just want to fill this background in so that you've got something interesting in the background when we put the vellum over the top. I think I did the other one in black. I'm sure I did the other one in black, but I just wanted to see what the blue one would look like. Acetate back on. Just make sure when you're doing this that you don't turn your acetate around the wrong way with all the inky marks on and put it down, because I've done that before as well. Okay, move this one now. I thought this was a lot less juicy than it is, this ink pad. I've had it for ages. They do last a long time though, don't they? So, put that one on here. You just want to sort of cover it. And usually I would, this is such a quick card, I would have, if I'd have got it all prepped, this live would have taken, I don't know, about 6 minutes. So I thought I'd do this bit from scratch, just for a change. Okay, wipe my fingers, move the magnets, and then move your stamp down onto here. Now at the back you will see I've got a bit of silicone. It just stops me from marking the sponge pad in the stamp platform. The silicone is just so easy to wipe, so that if you do go off the page, like here, you can wipe it off, no problem, and it hasn't stained your stamp platform sponge. So I'm just going to pop this one down, freehand as such. Now we're not going to colour any of this. This is just a background. Yeah, it's an issue, isn't it? It's definitely an issue. Random. No, it's not for me. But I try. And again, I failed with random on this one, because it's all now uniform in lines. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. How it comes out is how it comes out. However many you put on is totally up to you. There we are. So I am going to wipe this stamp before it stains. Pop it away, out of the way. There we go. Remove that, and then, like I said, you can just wipe that ink away, no problem, and then it's ready for the next time you use it. And also, don't forget to wipe your acetate down as well. And then that's all done. So, we now have this. Okay. I think the easiest way to find out if it's dry or not, because the VersaFine does take a little longer to dry, is to pop a piece of tissue over, press it down, and see if any of the excess ink that's on there comes off. It hasn't, so I'm assuming it's dry. So what we need to do now is bring in a piece of vellum, because I said this is a background. And what we're going to do is wrap this around the vellum. Okay, so I've got a piece that's obviously larger than the actual mat that we need, and I've put some sticky on the back already to catch the vellum. So I'll remove the back ends. So what you all up to this week? Anything interesting? I know it's a busy time for everybody, but have you got any markets? Well, we're Christmas markets to go to. I love Christmas markets. We went yesterday to one in Cockermouth, and unfortunately the rivers of rain were running down the street. It was horrendous. So it got cut short, and it was very annoying because my daughter was supposed to be singing there, which also got cancelled. So I'm going to just wrap this around, okay? And then before I go any further, I'm just going to trim across there so that bit sticks out, okay? And I'm going to do the same with this. Yeah, so it got cancelled, so we just had a quick shop, some mulled wine, and then we came home. So now I'm going to fold this one up again. There. And now we can trim this piece off. Okay, I find it easier to do it this way. And you get a nice sharp corner. I mean, you can do the thing where you cut it and fold it in on itself when you, like you do when you're making an album, but sometimes you overcut it and you don't have any excess to fold in, and the corner gets forgotten with the vellum. So I like to do it this way. Anything that overhangs like there, you can just trim off. So it's a nice neat fold. Fold it over. There we are. And then we can trim that end there too. There we go. And then we can fold this one in last, and then we can go around and trim off these edges that we have here. There we go. And you get nice neat corners. And you get a nice vellum wrapped piece. Okay, so that is going to go on there. Anything that's sticking out at the back, just trim off. You don't need it. And you want this to lie flat, obviously, on your card. So there we go. Let's move these. I'm going to put this flat on there. So I'm going to use tape. This glue will take a little while to hold the vellum, and we want it down immediately. So I'm going to pop this on with a bit of tape. Put some across so it holds them pieces too. And then we're going to stick it on the base colour blue card. So here we go. Take off the backings. Hi Jill, good morning. Lots of people busy today, so there'll be probably catch-up watchers, which is fabulous. That's the whole idea, is it not? Now I just need a piece across the top and across the bottom, and then this should hold in place really good on your card. So I might have to stand up to do this, so there'll be a bit of squeaking and creaking. It's not my bones, it's the chair. It's a very squeaky chair, but it's a very comfy chair, so I won't change it. There we go. Alright, so we're going to stand up. And just so I can get in there, make sure it's the right way up. Make sure your card is open in the right way. Then centralise it and pop it down. There we are. It's on. Job's a good one. That can go on one side. And now we can get on, and I'll show you how we did these. So, these three hexagons now, that's the back of it. So turn it over. It's all dry now. And now you can decide where you want to position them. Okay? To catch the most of your flowers. So I'm going to go, you could have gone that way up if you wished. I kind of like that way. So let's bring in a bit of glue. You could use tape. Glue dots is here. There we go. So I know, it was such a shame, Jenny, it really was. I mean, I did get a few little gifts before the stores closed, but honestly, the rivers of water was just, it was unbelievable. There's some serious rain yesterday, but hey ho. They did try to salvage what they could, in that they tried all the local pubs to see if they could accommodate the singers. But obviously, you know, the pubs had their own thing going on, so it was such a shame. It really was. I was looking forward to watching her singing. She does a lot of the Christmas markets, so I'm sure there'll be another one coming up soon. But Cockermouth is such a lovely place, quaint little place to to visit, you know. I'm sure ordinarily, I didn't do the Cockermouth one last year, but I bet you any money it's usually really busy, so I did feel for the stall holders. But I did manage to get some Christmas presents, last minute ones, which is great, so it wasn't all a loss. So there we are, we've got the 3 on now. 3 of those lovely frames stuck down, and now it's just a case of making sure that they are stuck and cutting around them. Okay, so I'll be quite brutal. And take them one at a time. Have you? Right. Oh, well, you're in for the treat then, aren't you, when you start playing? Because there's loads of inspiration been going up. And of course, the Pinterest boards are live, so they're all on there. All of the samples that we did are all on there, so you can have a go at looking at that as well. I do love a Pinterest board, I must admit. Inspiration abound, girls, and there's, you know, once you do get them out and start playing with them, you realise that you make one and then you change one thing on it and it's like a completely different thing. And then you can bring in like all of the items that you've got in your craft shed, which I love, like these acrylic pens, and try different techniques out with them, you know. So I hope you have great fun, all of you, with these stamps. I just love me a floral stamp, I really do. So much you can do with them, so many different things you can try, and all the occasions are covered, really, even the men's ones. So just trim around it, really easy, an easy shape to make. But if you wanted to, I suppose you could use your die and cut it out again, but as I said, it's really easy to do, so yeah, do it with your scissors. Okay, let's get rid of those. I'm not going to get rid of that because I can use that for a flower. Craft it to the end, hoard it, everything. Okay, so we now have the 3 little panels with the vellum flowers on. So I'm going to use sticky strips because I want them to stand up. So let's get some cut ready. I want them all to stand up proud, and then you can see the vellum against the vellum, if you get me. Because we're going to put this on top of the one we've just made with the vellum wrap. So you could do, if you had some heat proof acetate, you could use this and make it like a stained glass window effect, I guess. But I look forward to seeing how you do yours and what you do with it. Put it on, let everyone see it, obviously, on the Crafty Friends site, and then we can all have a go at it, because that's what I love about that site. Everybody puts it on, gives everybody else inspiration, and then either copy it verbatim or change a little thing that you prefer. But nevertheless, everybody gives everybody else inspiration, so it's nice. I like that. I don't know, a little bit bored on watching me put this on, but I figured it'd be nice for me to do one start to finish instead of having it all prepped up ready. Plus, like I said, it would have been a very quick live had I got it all done ahead of time. So are great, these little sticky strips, super good for shaker cards. You could turn this into a shaker, no problem at all. Put some little sequins and things behind the panels, and add another one with this tape. See, by making one you get a little inspiration to go further and do a different one. It takes longer to put the strips on than it does to do anything else. You just need it to stand, really. proud on your card. So that should do it. That should be enough. And one on here. Okay, so before you take the stickies off, bring your card base in and see where you want to put them. Okay, I don't know, move them up a bit. Oh, somebody sent me a message. Yeah, move them up a wee bit. Yeah, that'll do. Let's see, I might need a pokey tool to help me remove the backs. Yeah, I do. Even then I can't take the backs off. So you're all ready for your Christmas rush? I am. It's only a roast dinner after all, girls, with presents. Says the Grinch of Christmas. But yeah, that's all it is. I don't put stress on myself over things to do with cooking. I've got the family coming round, but we've had the family come round every year, and it's all worked out fine. So I don't really go for the stress thing. Just get in, cook it, give the gifts out, and watch the kids play. That's what it's all about, isn't it? The kids, not the adults. So this year we have all 3 kids, 3 grandkids coming over, which is lovely. So I better get me, we usually play games as well, so I'm going to have to get me some swatting up on kids things nowadays, because we do play quite a few games and they always know the answers and I never do. Right, so I'm going to start with the small one. And then I think I'll put this one in the middle to break up the 2 that are the same design. So if we work out roughly the middle of the card, you can pop that on. Pop that one on. So you can see the background through it, but it's not in your face, okay? So this one I'm going to put there. Okay, so we've got 3 now. I'll take some pictures of this, as I'm just looking on the computer and it looks a lot lighter on the computer than it is. So for the sentiment, I thought I got out Julie's fabulous foilables, you know, because we do forget that we've got these things. And so I got them out and I had a good look at them and I come up with Thinking of You. And I used the Aqua Fab Foil, Wow Fab Foil, Aqua Satin. Pop them on. As you know how to do this, Julie's put loads of videos up. Thinking of You. And that is what I'm going to put on the top. And it's actually a really nice match for the greeny, bluey combo we've got on here. So it's kind of a mix of the 2, blue and green. It's really cute. I like it a lot. Again, sorry about having to take all these off. But they're on ready, so you don't have to see me putting them on. So I'm going to pop that across there, not covering too much of my flowers. I'm going to pop that there and you there, okay? So we've got Thinking of You on it. Now this could be for any occasion, just letting your friend know you're thinking of her, to, you know, anybody who's having a few bits of issues going on. It's nice to get a Thinking of You card. It's nice to know somebody's thinking of you. So, right, Thinking of You. And I pop that one there. And then I've dug out some glossies. Now, Julie's got the glossies in both of these colours. She's got them in this colour and also in the blues. And if I can find them, which would be amazing. I've moved stuff about, if not, oh, here they are. And I'm going to pop the blue ones on. So I'm going with a large blue, and then 2 medium either side of these. Just kind of line it up. Someone sent me a message and blocked all my thingies. Yeah, it is nice. It's nice to have a Christmas dinner cooked for you. But I'm doing the cooking, not them. I'm one of these people that my kitchen's my kitchen, and I have to take charge. I'm a bit bossy in the kitchen. No one's allowed in. I think that's down to OCD, really. I like it the way I like it. Right, so there we go. I might actually add, I've got a couple more here. So, I might just put these up the top. There, I think. Just to fill that in there, although the idea is so you can see the background, don't go too mad with it. Nice background you've created. I did another card where I did a background similar to that, but I did it with Distress inks, and then I sprayed it and let it blur itself, which was quite nice. You see, this is me with the random. Let me find the glossies. Now that I've put glossies there and glossies there, my eye is taking me there to where there's no glossies, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to put them on there too. And just hope I've got the right colours. I should imagine I have. I've got quite a lot of them here. There's one. Oh, that's them. Okay, so we'll go with one large one. Let me see where I want it. I think I want it there. And then 2 smaller ones. See if I've got any loosey ones. Loose. There we are. 2 smaller ones either side. And then that completes the kind of the triangle look, what your eye is always looking for. Oh, that's a different colour. One there. See, these details take the longest for me. It's a nuisance for me. I'm trying to not be so worried. See, those green ones there would have gone beautifully with those. And there's also actually a deeper shade in the glossies. I couldn't be without my glossies now. It's ridiculous. I have to put them on everything. It's the law. Be rude not to. There we go. And one there. Now, that to me is better because it's got 1, 2, 3 lots on it. Got the glossies everywhere now. Oh, I've gotten back into doing baking. I've been making Eccles cakes and banana bread, and I haven't been eating it all myself. I've been taking it down to the little old guy down the road. He goes in the local pub. He cooks for himself, and he's a fabulous cook, but he never does cakes and things, so I take him a bit, and then I give some to my friends, and so I do keep some for myself, but then I don't have to eat them all on my own, which I would. So there we go. I hope you like that. It wasn't difficult to do. You could always colour this in blue as well if you feel it's a little too plain, you know. But I really will look forward to seeing your versions of it, and I do hope that you tag me in them. You know, it took half an hour. That wasn't bad, was it, guys? So, yeah. Thank you for joining me. I'm not sure who's next. Keep checking on the Julie Aiken page, and you'll find out who's off next. I never know these things. I can't remember what day one day is from the next. So, have a great day. Thank you for joining me, and I would love to see your versions. So, take care all.